Let's solve this question. The graph shows the relation between the units of electricity consumed and the total cost of an electricity bill. Find the cost of the bill if 300 units are consumed. So the first, I feel sorry that this is not a good graph. If someone gives you a graph and he asks you to find something, some information out of that graph, he is supposed to give you the name of the axis, that which axis is for the units of electricity, and similarly which axis is the cost of the electricity. He is supposed to give you that. And second, he must also provide you the relevant units as well. For example, what are the units for the cost of electricity, whether these are in US dollars or any other currency. Anyway, in this case, it doesn't matter, but he is supposed to give you this information. So I assume that the horizontal axis is the units, and he gave in the question that 300 units, and we can represent units as n. So here I am writing n. N is representing the units of electricity consumed by a user, and similarly this is the cost. So now we should be able to answer the questions. So the first question is the cost C, and these are the units of electricity. The first question says that the cost of the bill if 300 units are consumed. So a user consumed 300 units, and we want to know that what is the cost of electricity for that user. So it's easy because the horizontal axis is showing the units of electricity, and we just need to find the number 300. Here is 300. And we can just go up, 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 and where we will stop, where we will intersect with the line, mean the graph. This is graph of any user. So once we stop here, this is the point. Now I will go straight on the left side to see what is the corresponding cost if the units consumed by a user here are 300. So I will just connect through the straight line and then stop here. Then I can just go straight on the left side and I will stop here. So what do you think is the cost? You should be able to read the axis. For example, the axis starts from 0, and then this one is 500 and then 1000. You see, because he skipped 1 to label. This is we always do, because if space is not enough so that we can't put all the numbers with every step, so sometimes we skip one step and then we write the value of the next step. So you have to find that what is this step which is not labeled. So in that case, you have to find the difference, that what is the total step. It's 0 to 1000, and then we have one step that just in the middle. So in the middle mean 1000 divided by 2, it should be 500, right? So if I want to label these steps, here it is 500. You see, because the total step is 1000, and then this is in the middle of that step. So 1000 divided by 2 equals 500. Similarly, this is 1000, then here it should be 1500, because the interval is 1000, the lower limit and upper is 2000. So this is how I take the midpoint between these two values, because starting is 1000 and then I have upper value of the interval is 2000, and I want to take the mid value between these 2 points, so I will divide them with 2. So it is like 3000 divided by 2 equals 1500. 100. This is how we take the mid value of an interval. If you know the initial value of the interval, then final value of the interval, just add them up and then divide them with 2, you will get the midpoint value 15. So I don't need to do that calculation because I already know. For example, here it should be 200, 2500, and then here it should be 3500. You see, you can do that with yourself. For example, the lower value is 2000 plus 3000, it's total 5000. If I divide 5000 with 2, I will get 2500. And same is the case for this interval, it will become 7000, and if you divide 7000 with 2, you will get 3500. Okay, so now we can answer the question. The cost of the bill if 300 units are consumed. So I started from 300 units, I went up, I stopped at the graph of the line because the line of the graph, because this is what is representing the situation. Then I will just check the corresponding value on the left. It is 2500. So the answer to this question is 2500, and whatever is the unit, whether it is US dollars or any other, you can use that one. So the total cost is 2500. Now come to the second part, the number of units used when bill is 1500. So now it is the opposite because cost is along the vertical axis, so we have to find 1500 on the vertical scale, and I have already put the value 1500 because it was just not written on the graph given by the examiner. So 1500 is already there. If it was not there, you had to find that, and now you know how to find the missing value because this is the midpoint of the two values of the interval. So just add the initial and final value of the interval, divide them by 2, and you will get the middle value of 1500. So now I will go in opposite direction. So I will go on the right and I will just stop when I will reach at the line, and then I will go down to find the number of units used by that user. So I will start at 1500 and I will draw a straight line until I touch the graph line. Then I will just make another straight line down, and it should be somewhere here. You can use a ruler to draw a straight line. So here I have got the lines, and now I have to read the value on the horizontal scale where this line is touching, because the number of we need to find the number of units, and number of units are given along the horizontal axis, but we were given the cost 1500 and we have also this line, so now it should be easy. So what do you think is the value of the cost? Do you have any idea? You see, the resolution of the graph is 100, and then the middle point is 150, and then 200, which is the same formula I already used before, that when the space is not enough because the numbers are longer than the space, so it's not possible to write the value for the uh, point in the middle of these two values. So many times we just put one value and then we don't write the next value, and then we write the next to the next value. But here the line is here, so how to predict this value? So it's easy. Just find the grid line which is nearer to you. So of course this line is far away, further away, and this one is nearer. So this is my point, because the resolution of the graph is this one. And now we need to find this point. Of course, this is the midpoint of 100 and 200. So 100 plus 200, the initial and final value of the interval, divided by 2, 300 over 2, and if you know the answer is 150. So it's 150. So this is these are the number of units used by them, although there is a little bit error, but because this is a fundamental limit on the graphs, that you can't always find the true value. There are sometimes in uncertainties, and it depends on the resolution of the grid you are using for that graph. And because this grid line is nearest to me in this situation, so I will just take this value. So the answer is 150 units. This is how we use the graph to get the values. I am ending this lecture at this point. I hope you must be able to understand the missing points if there are any, and you should be able to connect these ideas and solve all the questions of your textbook. And you should be able to solve the questions given in the exercise as well.